baby, show enough for pity. There ain't no love, 'cause you ain't around. When you were mine, oh, I was feeling so good, 'cause you loved me now.
So what's your name?
My name is Greg Jones. I play pretty much anything that I'm asked to do: point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, but anything but center. I've been playing 4 years. I'll say my biggest strength is probably being super versatile.
Greg plays every position on the team, man. He plays 1 through 5. He guards 1 through 5.
He's taller than most guards. He can handle the basketball, so when little guards are checking him, he can, go to the post, shoot over top of them. With bigs, they're normally too slow to guard him, so they'll drive by him or get whatever shot he's looking for. And then defensively, he's a nightmare matchup just because, being against 6'6", he can guard wings all the way down to forwards. So he does a great job on both ends of the court.
Like being able to do everything on the court: defend, pass, rebound, shoot, just be able to do it all and have no flaws.
Sunny skies and windy weather here in Salisbury, Maryland. We're at the Wakavico Center for the Governor's Challenge.
The Governor's Challenge is located in Salisbury, Maryland. We got the opportunity to play versus Archbishop Ryan and another team called Elizabeth. As far as Archbishop Ryan is concerned, I got the opportunity to see them versus DeMatha, and they beat a team called St. Francis.
They had a shooting guard, number 2, who was pretty good. He could shoot the ball. And they had a big man. He was about 6'9".
We had some outstanding plays in that first half. Greg was great in the open court. Donnie made some outstanding passes. Jaleel hit a nice pull-up jumper. To me, it was a team effort. Everybody played their part. We were able to make the right plays at the right times and get the victory. So versus Elizabeth, we got off to a slow start. We were down 11 early on, and then I had to talk to them at halftime, and we came out in the second half and did what we were supposed to do.
Like I said, we got off to slow starts in both games, and the team showed that they could fight through that and come away with victories.
Yeah, so after the Governor's Challenge, man, I'm feeling confident about our team. We're undefeated during that point. Looking forward to getting back to district play and then Jackson-Reed.
What? You want to battle me?
Our players were really locked in leading up into the championship game. It was a tale of two halves. First half, Battlefield did a good job of running their stuff and had us in foul trouble. So we relied a lot on Greg to hold us down until we were able to get our rotations going. We was able to get to halftime with a 4-point lead where we were down early on in that first quarter. And then going into the second half, we start dialing up our pressure, and our pressure turned them over tremendously. And Greg Jones had one of the best games that you could ever have. I feel like Greg has garnered a lot of attention and notoriety from colleges, from all the media people. Every flyer you see Greg Jones on it.
People just keep talking about him, and sometimes gets so annoying.
I mean, there's not a lot of perks that come with it, because the next season after that, people are going to be on your tail, and knowing who you are, they're going to give you your best game.
With public school and the DCIAA, recently we've had a lot of success. I was first assistant coach on the team. We won our first DCIAA championship starting in 2016. We won 3 straight. I took over 2 years ago. We won DCIAA last year, and then we were looking forward to winning it again this year.
Jackson-Reed is notorious for having outstanding athletes. They can get after you defensively. They can wear you down, but they run their sets, and they have a big-time player in Rob Dockery.
Yeah, Jackson-Reed, we take pride at getting guys better, trying to push them to their max potential and get them to best possible option for college.
Then you got Marvin Brimage, the shooter, and the Gilmore kid. Those are like the top three that we were worried about.
Jackson-Reed was widely thought of as being the best team in the area. They had a few losses going in, even though they had Rob Dockery, who, as we talked about earlier, signed with Texas A&M, coached by, they call him Coach T.
Our biggest challenge facing Jackson-Reed was pretty much making sure that we don't get in foul trouble early, contain Rob as much as possible, and ensuring that we have hands up on Brimage's three-point shots.
I had a pretty good feel for Hayfield. They were state champions last year for Virginia, and they went undefeated. When we thought about playing that game, like, hey, why not play a team that's undefeated and try to get them their first loss?
After the summer league, I felt like, Greg put himself on this mantle that he was one of the top 5 guys in the DMV. He had high expectations to go out there and continue to prove to everyone that he's the alpha male. Not that he fell short of that. I just feel like because of how he played in the summertime, people expected him to do that during the wintertime. People wanted to see Greg go for 30, and that's just not in Greg's nature. His game is he does everything. So like he's not just a scorer, he's not just a shooter. He does everything. He's a playmaker. I feel like that was like the misconception of what people thought Greg Jones was compared to who he truly is. Over the summer, you're playing versus other teams in the DMV, especially in those DC schools. I feel like you're throwing a couple extra elbows, talking a little bit more smack.
The game plan was to kind of get physical with them.
There was a lot of just trying to rattle me, trying to push me, trying to get in my head.
Which was, expected just because when you get physical with a player, you kind of see where they're at.
If I miss a shot and someone else, maybe scored on me, I'd hear things like, oh, give me an offer to American University. Oh, I'm going to American University too.
It was just about Greg not feeding into it. I just wanted Greg to play basketball. I was really frustrated at him in the Annandale game because, we were up by like 15, 17, 20 points, and he's letting the number 4, number 5 kid, bother him. Instead of continuing to play basketball, he took it amongst himself to engage with that type of activity.
Play basketball. You don't gotta do the extra shit. Just play. I don't give a. You play basketball. That's it. You don't gotta do the extra shit.
Talk with the basketball, if that makes sense. Just to play his game and let his game do the talking for him.
If we win the game, it doesn't really matter to me. So it's just, you just move on and just take the criticism.
Well, I think anytime you're riding along a streak, I think you'd be lying if you say you don't think about it. It's like, okay, when is this going to end?
Me personally, I wasn't facing any pressure.
Well, I think if you look at the returning players, they know that, hey, look, if we go out and play well, we give ourselves the best chance. I think for the new guys that's coming in, maybe that was a little different. And I don't think they had the success that we had coming into this season.
It was more of an accomplishment for my teammates because I came in late and I only contributed in like 8, 9 games. So
I feel like when it comes to the other guys that transferred in, I feel like they just didn't want to mess it up. And I think that's the only pressure that they had.
It was more like negative because like we were going to the game trying not to lose, and it's something that like at the back of your head like, oh, you can't lose this game with a streak over with. So it was a little bit of positive just knowing that like you're undefeated, but I feel like it was definitely more negative.
I think there is some positive pressure to being undefeated, right? I mean, because the alternative is not winning games. People aren't really concerned with you. So I think it puts the players and coaches in a position where you need to bring your best every single night because every other team is trying to be the one that beat you.
Every day is a grind. Every practice, we got to give out A effort. Every game, we give our A effort. If we do that, then we give ourselves a great chance of winning, irrespective of who we play.
It was great to get to a 40-game win streak, but I was looking forward to get to 41, and Jackson-Reed was in the way. Greg, as a freshman, he had a so-so freshman year. He didn't produce in the way that he wanted to produce. And for me as a coach, I felt like he didn't do what I wanted him to do as well.
My freshman year was terrible. It was my worst year of basketball. I didn't enjoy playing, and it was just a big struggle.
During that spring, summer after his freshman year, he was very motivated to get better because he wanted to make sure that he would be starting his sophomore year.
Credit that to COVID because there was nothing really like you could do other than play basketball.
He said to me that he found a hoop somewhere in Kingstown, a couple miles from my house, and so he would go every day.
And then I just like all of a sudden just saw a basketball court and it had both like hoops on it because my hoops were taken down, and I was just like, wow, like this isn't far. I could bike here. Like this is like my new spot.
And so I can remember around that time, everything came out about Ahmaud Arbery when he was jogging and was murdered. And it was just a tough time to think about your kid. So I know he always used to think I was being a nag because I would say, text me when you're leaving, text me when you come back. But he would go there every day and work on his game.
He put in the work, man. He came back that summer once we started summer league, 10 times better player than he was. Greg had an eventful junior year. Had a couple 30-point games, high fly dunks, dunking on people, shooting threes. It's because of Greg that Hayfield got put on the map because he's the only like D1 prospect that we have, and everybody only looks for D1 prospects around here. He got all of the accolades that you could possibly get. He was a first-team All-District, All-Defensive Team, Region Player of the Year, first-team All-Met, first-team All-State, two-time district champion during that time. He won a state championship, and he also won an AAU championship. So you can see the trajectory going. From his freshman year, you saw how it was okay. Sophomore year, he got a lot better. And then, the beginning of his junior year, you see a guy that's potentially turning himself into a big-time basketball player.
Have you heard about them Hayfield boys? They got themselves a mighty fine basketball team. I heard they got one of the best basketball teams in the state. They got Johnny Woke. They got David King. They got DJ Holloway. No, I can't forget Donnie Bass-Briscoe. That boy a monster. And of course, Greg Jones, he's gonna play at American University next year. Have you seen them boys play?
Yes, sir.
This is Greg. Greg?
Yes, it is. Yes.
I can see.
I love that.
That's a little too. Yes, he did. Somebody's party.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that wasn't me. That was John.
Hey, lock in, fellas.
It's your man, AJ, the host, the biggest host in the city.
My name is Chad Wilson, CEO, founder of the Hoop Buzz.
All of the kids refer to me as Big Unk. Why? Because I got the keys to the city.
The Hoop Buzz, I started that in college. It was an avenue for me to still be involved with the game and still be intact with my community and basically follow what's trending in basketball.
The foundation of it is having a platform for the kids to know who's hooping.
So the Jackson-Reed and Hayfield game, that came about very interesting.
Who do we put Hayfield up against?
So I talked to Los. Los said, hey, I have one game open.
I mean, they're the best public school over here. Jackson-Reed is the best public school over here. We gotta make them play each other, right?
And I was like, nah, you don't got a game open no more. I got that game for you. So he was like, who you got? I said, Jackson-Reed. He was like, oh yeah, we want that smoke.
Virginia against DC.
Hey, who do you got winning? Jackson-Reed or Hayfield?
Hayfield, obviously. Hayfield's spanking.
Yeah, they about to pry him.
I was actually standing in the hallway when Hayfield was coming in.
Zion is getting ready. Tacoma Academy getting ready. I am your host, AJ the host. Follow me up, AJ the host on IG.
Where we at, go?
They should have put the Rocky music behind them when they was walking in the gym.
You feel like somewhat like superstars coming in the gym and like all eyes was on us type thing.
When they walked in the gym, their faces was stone like Greg was mean mugging. The crowd was right behind him. Like, it felt like, I was like, oh, Jackson-Reed was standing in the far corner. They was already there. This is really about to be a good game.
The Jackson-Reed crowd was intense. The Hayfield crowd was intense. I mean, they wore school flags.
It was people who came, they came to the game, to the event, just to see that game.
And then we're going up into the stands, like we was like, you know, the best thing walking out there. And you knew that it was gonna be one of them type of environments where you gotta show out. As far as like, you know, Greg throughout the season, he had an issue with his back that kind of prevented him from being the type of player that Greg has normally been.
At first, I just started playing through it, hoping it was just pains, just regular pains, and then just started getting worse and worse. And
the doctor wasn't too concerned about it when I took him in January. Basically said it's muscle strain, I think, and just take some anti-inflammatories and try to get rest.
There's a couple practices where he sat out for about a week, I think, and he didn't play.
There's not much you can do other than just lay down, because it kind of hurts at school when you're just sitting there in a desk.
But with that said, man, Greg never complained one time. You know, he's still going out there and trying to do his job to the best of his ability.
Advil, ice, trainers. We have really good trainers. They help me a lot.
I do this before every game. This is nothing.
You do it before practice?
Sometimes. I do it like every night.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
Really anything I can do just to keep the pain as minimized as possible.
You know, he always tell his mom, you know, don't worry about it. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. He's telling us that he's fine, even though you can clearly see that he's not fine.
I feel like Greg did great. Just being able to, like, I mean, if we left it up to him, he would have played every game.
I feel like he did a great job of not complaining about it and fighting through it and still doing what's needed to help our team win.
But, you know, that doesn't take away from shooting, from dribbling, from making the smart play. So I can deal without dunking the ball, because, you know, dunking the ball is only 2 points. Shooting a 3-pointer is 3 points. So it's all good.
It felt like Jackson-Reed wanted to use that DC.
So we started off down 12-3.
Hayfield came out, gave him a haymaker.
You could see like the crowd like, oh, these guys ain't nothing to play with.
Greg Jones, he has a way of rising to the occasion of a big game. And these are the kind of games guy like Greg will get up for. So Greg came to play.
He had a nice, man, he had like a pro level move one time where he pushed the ball through came to the jump stop, reverse pivot, and shot a nice little fadeaway jumper.
Rob Dockery wasn't dominant. I thought Greg got the better of him in the first half. And he was like the main attraction.
I would say that we were resilient for the first half. I think we overcame a run that they had that could have, put us out early.
I would just say it was a lot of back and forth. It was definitely a lot of us scoring and then them scoring, and then it was just a lot of back and forth.
They kind of just like kept rolling with the punches. Like even if we would hit a big dagger three, they would try to come down and hit one on us. And they just kept going.
Honestly, I think we are two of the same when it comes to play styles.
At halftime, it was everything I expected. Both teams had made their run. Hayfield made their run. Jackson-Reed chipped away.
I think our team first half performance wasn't as good, but it kept us in the game.
I just thought Jackson-Reed, gained confidence as the game went on. By the end of the third quarter, it was clear that it was anyone's ball game.
I would say DJ and Greg gave us the most trouble.
The play on Hayfield that gave our team the most trouble would probably be number 2. He came in, he had a lot of clutch buckets, a lot of daggering buckets, a lot of daggering threes.
Every three he hit hurt us.
During the second half, I feel like they did a good job of taking David away, or we didn't do a good job of force-feeding David.
I think Hayfield fell short by leaving me open, honestly.
Arvin hit some nice threes in that second half.
I just felt like if he left me open, they was going to lose the game.
And then, Dockery was solid. I didn't talk about this kid at all, the Fort kid. Really wasn't in our scouting report, but he did a great job, man. He had a double-double. I feel like those are the guys that kind of hurt us, as well as Gilmore hitting the 3 in the second half.
Late in the game, we had probably like an 8-point lead, and they never stopped fighting.
When we was in the huddle, our coach told us,
do we want Hayfield to be 41-0 or do we want them to be 40-1? That was something that we have been talking about all week in practice, just making sure that, hey, when they came up to see Jackson-Reed, that the streak stopped.
Smoke tonight. Trying to get downhill. Not fair. All right, let's go.
I probably realized that we lost, last 10 seconds when we're fouling and they're making their free throws.
I was in shock. I really did not think we were going to lose.
I mean, you just got to keep playing until a certain point. Like, there's a certain point where you just know you're not going to win the game. You know, if you got a minute left on the clock and you're down by 5, you still got a chance to win. But if you're down 5 with 15 seconds, 10 seconds on the clock, then that's when you know you're going to lose the game.
You know, they just made better plays than us down the stretch of the game.
You know, you can't win every game.
We'll bounce back and win shit, bro. Like, imagine, Rob, you get this right now. But there's one loss, we're straight, bro.
It felt weird. It felt odd because it hadn't happened in a long time. And you know, I just went back to the locker room. I just sat down and was like, dang, this is how every team feels after we beat them 40 times in a row.
Many great teams win state championships and are memorable teams, and they don't go undefeated because you have a bad night or two.
It was a victory that we can, you know, take in and use as motivation for further victories down the road.
It helped us solidify the best public school in the DMV.
Being able to get like a win versus a ranked opponent, like that's always great.
When we lost, had to go back to the locker room, you know, talk to the guys. With that said, man, no one said that we're supposed to go 64-0. This is why I make the schedule what it is, so that we can test each other as much as possible outside of our conference. You know, we are one of the premier teams in the DMV, no matter if it's private school or public school. We are that. All right? We are that. Y'all proven that shit day in and day out. That doesn't change the fact. All right, we lost a game. This one game. It's how we rebound for the next game and for the ones after that and the ones after that. That's what's going to dictate the rest of our season. All right, now that monkey's off our back, it is what it is. All right, we got to come in on Monday, get better. Let's go, bring it in. Hawks on 3, family on 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I didn't feel bad about the game because I thought it was a great game.
But me as a coach, I'm just thinking like we got to get these guys regrouped and get ready for practice so that we can move on.
We didn't have to worry about the streak anymore, and that really wasn't the most important. The most important was, you know, trying to go back and go back to back and win a second state championship.